Hello, beautiful Phoenix sisters. My name is Cassandra de la Thea, and I'd like to welcome you to this little video. I've got Hemma Mason with me, one of our Phoenix Women Summit speakers, and Hemma is going to tell us a little bit about her experience of what it was like to be a speaker at the Phoenix Women Summit. Welcome, Hemma.
Hi, and thanks for having me.
What was kind of your experience of being a speaker at the Phoenix Women Summit?
It was a really new experience for me. I've not really done this before, and I was quite surprised because I didn't know what to expect. But the level of support and the level of, I'm not sure coaching is the right word, but the conversations we've had to get, a good firm idea of what to speak about, what's going to be useful for people, and then the support for, our speakers and how to promote, etc. It was unexpectedly really, really good. I wasn't sure what to expect, but it was far more than I thought it would be, which was really nice. It was a helping hand guided all the way through, which was, yeah, which was good.
We like to exceed expectations. Do you have any personal transformations or insights and learnings as being a speaker?
That was the biggest thing for me, stopping and you pulling out that, well, Hemma, actually, what about this skill and what about this skill? And this is really useful for people. It's like, I totally forgot about that. Actually, that is really going to be, useful for people. It's really got me uh, focusing and looking back and pulling out things that I've done, which actually could help people now, which I'd forgotten about, which is it's a great insight.
Because it's like sometimes from an outside perspective, it's so obvious. Like, I know you're this incredible award-winning photographer and videographer, and I know everybody right now is like wanting to go online shooting videos and we were having this conversation about what you were going to speak about, and you said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to talk about some transformational coaching," and I'm like, everybody's talking about transformational coaching, which is awesome. I know how great you are at that. But you can teach people right now what they need at a really high level.
Yeah.
And there's a product in there as well. I mean, there's a course there. There's a possibility there for you to kind of just have a recurring income. And I just, thank you for being kind of like open and checking in with your womb to see, well, actually, yeah, why don't we do that?
Yeah, no, it worked really well. I'd had a thought of doing a course, a few years ago, and it just didn't really come into fruition. And then I realized that, from talking to you and what you were saying, I hadn't realized that those kind of courses, there wasn't a woman doing it. I've seen so many people doing it that I thought, well, there's plenty out there. People aren't going to need it. And that really got me thinking about how different it is. And that's a big thing to think about, because I've been doing this for 10 years. I know my stuff. I didn't even, like you said, I didn't even think about it. You said, can you do this? And I went, sure, I can pull that together in my head. It's there almost instantly. It's definitely been a great experience.
Things that are our natural gifts and talents, like they're so natural and easy for us that we don't really think about doing them, where we don't really think of them as special and unique talents. We think, oh, it's just something we do. Exactly. So it often takes an outside perspective to help kind of draw that out of us. The other main misassumption that most people make is that they think, oh, well, lots of people are doing this out there and it's a really crowded marketplace. That might be so, but it's like there's something about you and your voice and your experience. Like in your case, you're a transformational coach and you really understand like how people how people can express themselves and make an impact through a visual medium, like on photos, on video. And it's the combination of these two skills together with your unique perspective that allows you to create something that is completely different, that will speak to a completely different set of the population than maybe something that someone else is doing. And so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just have to, from our own understanding, bring our unique take to it. And then that will be perfect for a certain audience.
And it's funny when you start to think about what people need. No one's had your experiences. No one can say it your way. The number of times I've heard a message from various entrepreneurs about how to do something, not stuck in my head, and then I'll read a book and it'll really hit home and I'll take action on it. And then I realize, but I've heard that message before. Why didn't I act on it? It's because that way of telling it resonated with me. So it's your message and how it resonates with individual people. They could have heard the same message a million times, but actually it's when you say it your way from your experience, that's when it actually hits home for them, and then they'll take action. So it doesn't matter if there are 100 people doing what you do in your, even in your local area, you need to put your message out, because it might be that one person who actually needs to hear it your way.
So you didn't just create this talk on this subject, but this is also your first online product, like your first online course that you've created on the back of this, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so great. Tell us a little bit
It is.
about that. Like, what was that
It's
like?
quite a strange thing. It had been something I'd looked at doing over and over again across the years of being, photographer and videographer. And there's so many different courses out there. Every time I went to do it, I just thought, there's not much point. There's plenty of people doing it. People can just Google it. People can look. But, after shooting the talk, I realized that actually the way I present it is very different from other people. There's a lot of psychological things I put in about, really considering your fears, not just how to sit on the camera or how to, do the technical stuff. I think the other things about what's going on in your head is really important, because that's what I've suffered from. Being behind the camera is easy for me, but then going in front of the camera it's always been, that big step out of my comfort zone. So if I feel like that and I'm an expert, then imagine how other people are feeling. So to me, that's something that's really important to address. It's come together really quite nicely, and I think it's going to be really, really helpful and useful for people.
If anyone is watching this right now and is considering becoming, being part of our speaker lineup, like, what would you say to them?
I'd say talk to you, even if they don't think they have got something to talk about and they're confused, whatever it is, have a chat with you, because you're the key to really getting people to feel what they need to feel within themselves to do the right thing for serving everybody around them. And actually, they'll surprise themselves. There's a lot that they can take away from it. So yeah, definitely just do it.
Any kind of last words? Like, what was your overall kind of experience like?
It was great fun, and it was, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and really enjoyed sharing it as well, because it was, it was received really well by everybody I shared it with, and it's needed. And I've had a great experience, and I'm really, really glad. I'm really glad I did it. I really wasn't sure about it, but I'm really glad I did. Very glad I did, and people should definitely do it. It's an amazing experience.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, it's lovely to have you there. I've so enjoyed your talk, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again in the future at our talks. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us today, Hemma.
Not a problem at all.